I'm the sports professor, Rick Horrow. Welcome to Beyond the Scoreboard, Inside the Mega Events. It's a trillion-dollar sports business, to be sure, and about 50 to 60% of those dollars are wrapped up in the mega events, the championships, Super Bowls, All-Star Games, World Series, Wimbledon, tennis majors, golf majors, NASCAR championships, IndyCar championships, Ryder Cup. All of those too numerous to mention. I'm in my office to kick off the show, but I'm not here a lot. I'll be on the road on a weekly basis to bring you the inside tips from those major events. The balance sheets, who wins, who loses, the interviews, how you put on the events, and how you sustain them. This is all brought to you by Edelman Financial.
Money doesn't come with instructions. That's why we created Edelman Financial Services to help you with everything from college and retirement planning to managing your investments, helping you achieve retirement security. We're among the nation's top financial advisors. Come see how we can help you.
Sports professor Rick Horrow, spotlight on Fiserv Arena, City of Milwaukee, NBA East Finals, and you know the rest of the drill. Tremendous economic impact. By the way, franchise values, according to NBA Forbes, about $1.9 billion, up about 13%. But the Bucks, when this ownership group bought it 5 years ago, for about $550 million, now Forbes says about $1.3 billion. That's 160% return. That's pretty darn good. And the bottom line is they're playing the Raptors, which is worth $1.6 billion. But guess what? The game's not solved on the boardroom floor. It's solved on the hardwood floor. So there is a frenzy here. NBA International, especially the Greek Freak, and expansion, China, other places, not franchises, but branding, which is really important. Also, the television contract, $2.4 billion. Bucks just did a new one. Other teams are doing new ones. So the bottom line is Milwaukee, very excited about this event. Probably one of the biggest games in Milwaukee in decades until the next one. Sports professor Rick Horrow, Beyond the Scoreboard, spotlight on the Milwaukee Bucks, Fiserv Arena, downtown Milwaukee, and the NBA. Sports professor Rick Horrow, inside the boardroom, Beyond the Scoreboard. We've got the guy who basically is one of the 2-3 guys. He's humble, so he won't say number one. President of Fiserv Forum and the Milwaukee Bucks, revolutionized basketball in Milwaukee, if not the NBA. Peter Feigin, hey, how are you?
Hey, Rick, how are you doing?
Good. Have you died and gone to heaven?
Yeah, I think this is pinch yourself stuff. I think we've had a season, we have an opening in an arena, we've got an outside district that kind of all came together pretty quickly, so we're in a good space.
I remember when LeBron was in your kind of position in Cleveland, and they took that big mural. I heard that they've taken a big photograph of you to put a big mural up here in Milwaukee somewhere.
But I think the mural's Giannis, and it's up in a few places yet. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're not Giannis, you don't play.
Yeah.
So here's the bottom line that nobody will talk about from a business perspective, but it is published. So basically Forbes comes out with their numbers all the time, and they're talking about a value of $1.3 billion, $1.4 billion. I don't know what the number is, nor do you, because you're not going to sell. But at the end of the day, you buy the franchise for $550 million in 2014, and it's gone up at least 150%. Good job.
It's a good job. I think we have a lot of people to thank. You know, Adam Silver,
right.
Probably the Ballmer, the Clippers owner, who 2 weeks after we bought, after our owners bought the Bucks, he bought the Clippers for a little bit over $1 billion.
By the way, one quick thing. Sorry, if it were reversed, would you have had to pay more? Do you think?
I think so.
Yeah. Interesting. But anyway, so the bottom line is, it's an investment long term, and the fact is that you're part of a partnership where the average franchise value is nearly $2 billion. It's gone up 13% by all accounts. And I assume you're happy with the direction the NBA is going.
Yeah, I think for us, like the growth and the enterprise value is monumental. I think if you ask Mark, Wes, or Jamie, they'd all say they're thrilled, like with the appreciation.
Yeah, and the bottom line of all of that too is that you're cash flowing as well as appreciation, because you got a $524 million arena that's really revolutionizing downtown Milwaukee. And if I remember the chronology right, you're one of the only groups that I've ever seen in my business that basically bought without all the I's dotted and T's crossed on an arena, which was a really significant risk. It paid off for you, but
it did. I mean, it's just kind of the vision, of Mark, Wes, and Jamie to say, hey, we're in, and kind of put all the chips in before, the arena came to fruition. So I think that was the goal of Senator Cole. Nobody talks about Herb Cole and what he did to make this happen. Not only did he sell the team to 3 really worthy guys who wanted to invest locally and build this out, he also put $100 million towards the building of the arena,
Right.
which has probably never been done before, for a former owner.
And by the way, speaking of former owners, you're absolutely right to give him the credit he deserves, not only as a former senator, because he built up a lot of goodwill independently, but former owners go away when they sell. Not his case. He, as far as your team and the team across town, who's one of the best teams with a small market in baseball, then you got the biggest brand in football, just a little up. You got 3 amazing brands in a state.
Yeah, and I mean, it all goes to like really passionate fan base.
Yeah.
People are so eager to embrace like success and winning and tradition and like have such a loyalty, to Wisconsin.
Tell us about Giannis.
The only thing to say about Giannis is everything you read is true. This guy is a humble workaholic that is about winning. He cares about his teammates more than he cares about himself. He's maybe people don't know how funny he is. He's probably one of the funnier guys around, and he's a great leader by example, leader by direction. I mean, he's helped transform the team in a big way. I think if you interviewed my Coach Bud, he'd tell you in 2 seconds, like, he's no dummy. He wanted to come here desperately to coach Giannis.
You think Giannis appreciates what he's done for southeastern Wisconsin and the state?
I think he's just understanding it, but he recognizes it, but almost like is so humble, and it's not what he's about. Looks for no appreciation, kind of like is happy for everybody, happy for growth. He's a member of the community. Like he feels that he's as much a Greek citizen as he is a Wisconsinite, which is kind of special.
Kind of special, pretty unique.
Yeah.
Kind of special. What kind of long-term marketing plans do you have that are specifically tailored around Giannis internationally?
Well, I think Giannis is, as crazy as this may seem, like his interest group is almost more in Europe and Asia than it is in the U.S.
Right.
So, for instance, he'll launch his shoe in July. That'll be a great springboard for the team brand and for us to really help start marketing in and around Asia and around Europe on the heels of his Nike campaign, which is pretty incredible.
Is it as much potential, maybe more, as Yao Ming early in China?
Yeah, I think if you look at, I think the only reason it's much more is what's built in the world of social media and what's done with the distribution of NBA games and kind of run is that now instantaneously, hundreds of millions of people have their finger on the pulse. If they want to watch a Giannis highlight, they watch it. If they want to e-tail and buy, Giannis shoes, like they do that.
Let's talk just a little bit about NBA marketing relative to Giannis. The 75-mile rule has been pretty significant for a while. There's been a little relaxation, understandably, to give teams incentive to grab some international rights on the tail of their players they have. How do you feel about all of that, and where's that going?
Well, I think if you look at what the league's doing, they're actually kind of looking beyond the 75 miles and opening up some of the rules and rights internationally, for us. So our ability now to take 2 or 3 founding partners and to spread our marketing rights internationally with them. Our patch deal can now retail, internationally. We can build events, on the ground anywhere in the world, which are all kind of new things for teams to be able to be built out. So, I think the real thinking about it is like as the values of the franchise grows and their ability to market, as does the NBA.
It reminds me, one around, but you read the history books, reminds me of the Mara Hallis split the revenue, because the revenue's not that big now, but it's going to grow if you share it. And it sounds like the international rights discussions are similar. I assume when you're in meetings, you talk about marketing rights, everybody's pretty collaborative.
Yeah, I think everybody's like, listen, it's kind of interesting. Like when you talk about leagues, you will always have big market teams and you'll have smaller market teams to get done. But what Adam Silver and David Stern did before him was create a collaborative. And that's the difference in the NBA is people ask, like, my God, how did you vision the arena? What did you think of best practices? I mean, we couldn't have built this arena without our buddies in Sacramento, Orlando, and Brooklyn. being completely open book, best practices, what did you learn? And the longer I go out, that's really special for the NBA. Like, we're non-competes.
524 million is the public number. Did you misspend any dollars? Is there one mistake you made? Would you have done something over?
I think we call them like tweaks. If we kind of the way the world is going, would you have like done less suites and more open loft space? You might kind of like in the way doing. Would you use different finishes? To get it done. I think, but for a 17,500 person studio, which is what this is, which is tailored for basketball, which is incredible for concerts. It turned out very well. I think for our first year, I tell you we did pretty well because our corrections aren't going to be that monumental.
Nice touch. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get some video of it to cover a little bit of this, but you have a 95% torn down Bradley Center across the street, but you kept up just enough so people understood that was the third oldest building in the NBA, right? Good touch.
We did. Well, I think if we progress into the finals, you'll see it completely down, and it'll be kind of this unbelievable juxtaposition
is that what you're looking for?
Of kind of old and new to really get that narrative.
We got it anyway. You don't need the narrative. We got it anyway. So one more set of questions on big market, small market.
Sure.
You guys, Oklahoma City, Memphis, I mean, there are a lot of commonalities, but they don't seem to matter as much in the business world of the NBA as they used to. I assume David, Adam Silver, and others are very cognizant of the need to make sure that small market franchises are nurtured and given the ability to grow.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think there are some differentials. Whereas you look at, for example, cable subscriber subs in a small market are less than that in a big market. So your local cable rights might be less, to do it. But the world is changing so fast, and the opportunities for small, mid, big-sized markets are really becoming all the same. When you talk about a market like Milwaukee, and we can have 12,000 season ticket holders, and we can do really competitive naming rights and founding rights, and you're talking about being able to garner as much, if not more, on social media and impressions than some of the larger markets. You're really talking about an even playing field.
Yeah, and frankly, it inspires the next group. It'll be kind of fun to watch next year as you become old news and Chase opens at $1 billion. Your building is not half as good as $1 billion building. It's just San Francisco labor costs, right? I mean, that's part of the deal too.
Well, I think it's land cost. I think it's kind of what they're doing. I think, by the way, I think it'll be way over $1 billion.
Yeah, we agree. We agree.
And it's just a different model. So, when you look at San Francisco, they're selling licenses, for $100 million, of revenue. That's not what this market is. It's a very, very wealthy market where there's a lot of disposable income to get it. But that will be a spectacular arena. I was there a month ago with no finishes, and I was blown away.